Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, you may have already picked up in the title of this video that yes, I'm going after a kids show and for damn well good reason, okay? Just allow me to explain why I'm going after the kids show for you all. I first came across Sunny V2's video about Coco Melon, and if you don't know who Sunny V2 is, definitely go check him out. He does some great work. I really do appreciate a lot of the content that he produces because it's very, very well done, highly researched too. So when I was watching this, the more I dove into the evidence and the information that was being presented to me, I got curious. I'm like, okay, what else is there that I can learn about this show? What are they doing to the kids? Turns out that this is actually one of the worst kids shows on the internet. They're addicting young kids and they're also using it as propaganda for the mainstream message we all know is complete indoctrination of young kids. I have said this time and time again, and I'll continue saying it until that's it for me in this life. But if you want to change a generation, you educate or indoctrinate the kids. Education today, it has changed so much. It's become this propaganda machine for the mainstream message. You see it in schools everywhere. Teachers now are polluting and just brainwashing young kids to think, say, and do certain things that no child should ever have any business in saying, doing, or thinking. It's just despicable behavior. It's disgusting. And you know what? YouTube allows shows like this on the platform. And trust me, there's a lot worse shows on the kids section of YouTube that actually promote drag queens, drag story time, story hour, whatever the hell you want to call it, and every other disgusting, despicable thing on the internet. Now, granted, Sunny V2 didn't point to that sort of stuff, but just look at this. Here's a photo for you all. On the kid on the far right, so my far right, okay, you can see on her pants, she's got the rainbow uh, LGBT whatever flag on her pants. Now, a child doesn't or should not know what that flag represents and that flag means, but they're putting it on the show so that young kids can see it and so that young kids can go, I like that. I want to know more. And you know what they do after that? They start teaching young kids about Pride Month, Pride flags, you name it. It's all there, ladies and gentlemen. And so Coco Melon is being cancelled for being too addictive for kids. There's parents now that are fed up because their kids are becoming literal zombies. There's also a trend on TikTok. Of course, it's on TikTok. It's a trend, so it's got to be on TikTok. You've got these parents that will play the introduction song to Coco Melon, and the kid comes running. It gets all excited. It's like this addictive escape for the child. When I was watching the Sunny V2 video, I was in shock. I'm going, this is not good at all for young kids. We know young kids have very impressionable minds. They look at certain things and they're going, oh, I'm learning. I'm going to take that away and therefore I'm going to start doing it. And you know what? They may not fully understand why they're doing it, but they're doing it all the same. Kids, like I said, they're impressionable, but they can be relatively smart. Doesn't exactly mean they fully understand what they're thinking or what's going on, but they still do it. Okay, so the adults that have created this show know damn well what they're creating. There's actual researchers, data analysis people, there's psychologists that are involved in the full team. It's a money making machine, first and foremost. But secondly, it's also, I'm going to get a lot of money from this, but it's a propaganda machine too. What better way to change the next generation or to uh, push your message further than to put it in a kids' TV show that is highly addictive? Let's make it all, seem rosy and fun, but let's actually make it so engaging that a kid can't turn away from watching it. Look at some of these videos, right? I was taking a look at this. Look at how many views these videos get. Wheels on the Bus, a nursery rhyme, 6.5 billion views. That was 6 years ago. Bath Song, 6.8 billion views. Humpty Dumpty Grocery Store, 678 million views. The Baby Shark dance song, which they copied from the other person that actually created Baby Shark and made it like their thing. I don't know how they got the rights to that. Maybe they bought them. I don't know. But that's got 111 million views. These people have got over 120 something million subscribers on their show. That is crazy numbers. Like Mr. Beast has got over 200 million, I think it is. A lot of these people that are subscribed would be parents or young kids, and they would froth over this stuff. But they don't realize how alarmingly damaging this actually is to their psyche. Actual doctors and psychologists with a brain have actually warned parents not to show their kids this kind of material. Why is that? So a doctor by the name of Dr. Kristen Summer says when showing an infant a normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to CoComelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%. Why is that? Well, the color scheme, the messaging, the characters, the story, everything about the video is geared towards engaging that young person's attention. It's like TikTok for young kids, right? They've got this instantaneous swipe. I've got to see the next thing. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You can't pay attention for a long period of time like you're doing with me. I've only got one angle on me the entire time. I'm not constantly switching angles to go on the side of my face or over here. It's one angle, it's front on, so you guys can get a more personalized viewpoint of who I am. I'm not changing any of the color schemes. I don't do any color correction. It's natural light. So I've got a more authentic approach. That is the way I intended it to be. Okay, I don't intend to fake anything or have this high production studio, none of that stuff, because I feel like it takes away from what I'm trying to do and how I'm going to engage with you. I think you guys can feel a little bit more personalized with me talking to you. It's like we're having a conversation. Then say, you know, Matt Walsh or someone in the Daily Wire when they've got these high production. And look, I'm not against that. That's a great thing, you know, if it's done well and done right. And it's not to say that one day I'm not going to change my setup or anything else, but I'm still going to do what I feel is right and correct and give you guys a much more personalized approach. Now, these people, on the other hand, they've got a team around them that study human behavior, study child behavior, and they know that camera angles, changing angles consistently is going to grip that young person even more. It's also going to make them go, constantly changing angles. I want something new. Give me something new. Next, 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 next. And so therefore, because they've watched it in the video, they're now going to translate that into real life. So their attention span for talking to anyone, if they're a baby or if an infant or whatever else, is going to be really horrible. There are parents that are going, my child's engagement is shocking. They're literally like a walking zombie. They got no ability to really look at the world and see what the world actually is because they're just numb to it. So this show, rightfully so, needs to be cancelled. Now, yes, we're all for free speech and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that a show that is harming kids in horrible ways, it doesn't mean that it needs to go on. No, it means it needs to get cancelled. Like, I'm all for that. Like, it's fine if it's actually harming a kid, or not just one kid, but looks like millions of kids around the world. You need to take that off air. Like, it's okay to cancel a show, or you change the messaging behind it to actually help kids, not make them addicted to your show so that you can draw as much money from them as you possibly can. So here's an article, right? Have you ever popped your child in front of a CoComelon and watched them be transfixed for hours by the bright lights and melodic songs? You're not alone. In fact, some parents refuse to let their children watch it because of the addictive nature. Now, children's author Frank Cortell Boyce has even called it out, declaring that it should be renamed Cocaine Melon. It's a great description of it. I actually checked out a lot of the videos, and far out, I can see why kids get addicted to it. The bright lights, the color scheme, everything like that. It is highly, highly addictive. It's a massive dopamine rush for little kids. You're going to make them dopamine deficient by all this stuff. It's the only thing we've blocked our 2.5-year-old from watching on YouTube Kids within his age range because we feel it's so mindless and addictive. One parent told Grazia, this is the article that wrote, that's the company that wrote this article, by the way. Whenever he watches it, he goes into a strange trance-like state and will just go silently from one song to the next. I can see why that might appeal at times if you're desperate to get something done. But for me, it felt too strange and insidious. I'm very relaxed when it comes to TV and screen time, but even I draw the line to CoComelon. Man, that's saying something. Another says, both my children were absolutely fixated on it at a really early age. At first, it seems like a wonderful gift because it meant I could finally get things done. Then you realize that anything that makes a 6-month-old glassy-eyed and slack-jawed probably isn't good. Damn. That says something. So I'm not going to retract my statement saying that this show needs to be taken off air at all. I'm, in fact, going to push for it. As an adult, I find it 80% annoying, 20% weird, but on kids, it's so effective at mollifying them that I'm starting to think we're all unwitting participants in a giant social experiment. Man, this is from Grazia. I don't think Grazia is a conservative media outlet at all. I think they're rather left-leaning. So if Grazia is making an article about why CoComelon is harmful and dangerous to kids, I think we should actually listen. According to Sarah Jeffries from Pediatric First Aid, it's the engaging visuals that make it so addictive. CoComelon uses bright colors, simple shapes, and smooth animations that are incredibly appealing to young eyes, she explains. The characters are designed with large, expressive faces, with children that are naturally drawn to. The simplicity of the animation ensures that kids are not overwhelmed, making it easy for them to follow along and stay engaged. Also, the melodies and the rhymes and things like that. We know that music is highly addictive, and the tune and the messages and the story behind it, it captures audiences. It's also the music, like I said, that appeals to children. The repetitive and catchy music is a huge part of the CoComelon's appeal, Sarah adds. The songs are easy to sing along with, and repetition helps reinforce language development. The more you say something to a child, the more likely they're going to pick it up and keep saying it too. Memory and learning. For toddlers and preschoolers, this repetition is not only comforting, but also satisfying as they master the lyrics and actions associated with each song. Beyond its aesthetic and musical appeal, the relatable themes within the show and predictable nature are what makes CoComelon so bingeable. For Sarah, while the show can be positive for kids, it's important to recognize the signs of digital addiction in young children. Got a huge problem with that today. The rapid pace of content, the constant visual and auditory stimulation, and the repetitive nature of the episodes can trigger the release of dopamine in the brain, a chemical associated with pleasure and reward. And a young kid having excessive amounts of that ain't a good thing, man. This can lead to a cycle where children crave more screen time, potentially leading to overexposure. As with any form of media, moderation is key. While CoComelon can be a valuable tool for learning and entertainment, go seek it elsewhere. So many other avenues. It's essential for parents to balance screen time with other activities and promote physical movement, creativity, and face-to-face interactions. We've destroyed society. We've destroyed the next generation by putting them in front of a screen to just make them brain dead. Setting clear limits and encouraging a variety of activities will help ensure that children develop a healthy relationship with digital content. Maybe part of the problem is that when any TV is marketed or promoted as educational, as a parent, it becomes all too easy to ignore your own niggling concerns about screen time, even when your child is starting He's starting to be slack-jawed at the screen. This is clearly the route CoComelon are going down. They've recently announced the launch of a preschool learning app, CoComelon Kids Learn and Play, aimed at children aged 2 to 5. Based on the CoComelon show, the app promises a safe, interactive experience which kids can play and learn alongside their favorite characters and popular songs. A spokesperson for Moonbug, who are behind CoComelon, told Grazia, "We develop all our content based on early learning principles." Yeah, saying no for a bath time. And guess what? Kids pick that up. This is the actual video. A kid is saying no in the video to the parent that say it's time to brush your teeth, get ready for bath and then bed. Kid's going no, refuses to do it. So that's teaching kids, isn't it? There's no moral good lesson in that at all, if you ask me. On CoComelon, everything is crafted with care and learning value at its core. No, you've got at your core, money's first, and how can we keep these kids engaged in such a way that is going to make them addictive or addicted little rascals, I guess you could say, or addicted zombies. We work closely with child development experts. There you go. You admitted that, to ensure that it's enriching as it is entertaining. Well, it ain't entertaining. So here we go. A person actually looked at the amounts of shots within a video, right? So we've got a lot of these, kids shows like Bluey, Encanto, and Arcane, and everything else, right? So CoComelon, the amount of shots, 2 seconds or less, in just Baby Shark alone, 95.9%. It changed like that. That's how quickly the shots were changing. So you're getting like this major, really horrible dopamine rush for the kid. So like that 2-year-old in the blue T-shirt at the Moonbug office one recent afternoon, he'd shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the CoComelon theme song on that television. It's like you're not just indoctrinating them, you're controlling them. You are telling the kid how to behave and how to respond. That, to me, is dangerous and concerning. So, parents, if you are watching this, or if you're a grandparent and you've got grandkids that you may know watch this, or maybe you had no idea about this, but now you do. So be very, very careful with what you let your kids watch. Be very careful. Maybe entertainment, but it's also indoctrination. They're not just addicting kids to this sort of show. They're teaching kids how to behave in life. And that, to me, is highly concerning. Anyhow, my friends, thank you all so much for watching. I know this was probably a long one, but you guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.